To the Anita and Dario Show. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. I'm Anita Dario, Rich Life Strategist.
And I'm Chef Dario Tomaselli. Welcome to everyone. Mother's Day. Mother.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Today, we're going to be talking about three things. One is going to be about bread making and how to make it simple.
That's right.
Number two, we're going to talk about relationships and things you can do in your relationship, like cook together. Oops, I'm giving one of the things to really improve your relationship and have fun together.
Well, cook together to stay together is what we say in what we do.
And number three, I'm going to reveal why I've been cheating on Dario. I don't know. Are you going to be still happy with this once I tell you all this?
Well, happy Mother's Day to everyone. I don't know if I'm going to like that, but come and follow and subscribe on our YouTube channel and see what she's up to. This cheating part, I'm not too crazy about it.
The Anita and Dario Show. The art of savoring, discovering how to fully indulge in the present moment, savoring every experience, every morsel, and every breath, unlocking the deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, live your life. Get inspired and cherish moments with food, travel, cooking, the Mediterranean way.
Welcome back. We've got our coffee for this Sunday morning. Hope everyone has got their coffee as well.
Yes, but there is more than coffee this morning that we need to talk about. Apparently, it's bread and cheating. How's that?
We're going to talk about that later.
Bread or cheating?
The cheating.
So look at that. We are surrounded by beautiful flower. And here.
I think it's so nice. All the flowers that I got yesterday. Last night we ended up
Look at that.
having a pizza party with the kids.
And one more over there.
Where are the tulips? The tulips are really beautiful.
Look at this.
Look at that one. That's so nice. And they're opening up perfectly too. So thank you so much to everyone in the family. And we had our pizza party last night. Oh my gosh. What you're seeing right now was totally taken over by different kind of pizza items. Dario had made the dough. We had 2 pizzas so we had 20 pizzas that were being made.
Yes.
Thank you to our Cuisinart pizza oven, which actually is really good.
It's awesome. Yeah. It's an electric pizza oven and Cuisinart.
And you can do it inside.
Yeah, it is the greatest thing. And you know the funniest thing that actually Anita was mentioning about it. You know, the greatest thing about this oven, and it makes a perfect Napolitan pizza and many variety of pizza. You know, and they say, oh, maybe it's going to heat up the house. It does not. It has perfect ventilation inside. It was really quick. You can make a perfect Napolitan pizza in 5 minutes right into that oven. So really, really good. Thank you, Cuisinart, for that.
And we're going to talk about that more next week. We're going to tell the details about what we did, what kind of pizza combinations, because we had some really neat things. All the kids brought different things to bring for their pizzas. I had a really interesting pizza a few weeks ago, and we had a really neat base that we used for that one. So we're going to talk about that next Sunday and get into more details. But it was so much fun getting together with the kids, from some laughs and wine, maybe a little bit too much wine, but it was good.
That's fine. It's fun. You know, when we have all the kids around, it's always a perfect time for us. And the weather was great. So we got to be thankful.
We walked down to the water. We got some pictures, and we played a really funny game. I forget what it's called. Nonsense, I think it's called. And we had to play in character and stuff. It was fun.
So forget about the nonsense. Let's talk about the real sense here. So what's the deal with the cheating? I'm sorry. Aren't you guys curious as I am? I mean, I just been woken up with this.
And it's so funny because I was going to leave that to the end, but it's almost impossible to leave that to the end because you're like, what the heck is going on?
Okay. Sorry.
Okay. I'm not going to leave it to the end, but the cheating is I've been using this bread maker.
Okay.
So for Dario, bread making and all these units like slow cookers is just not a way of cooking. For me, it is. So
I feel better now. I don't know how good.
So years ago I had a bread maker, loved it, and with Dario, we've been doing a lot of bread making, sourdough.
So we love each other again?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just checking. You know what I mean? You never know what.
And it's great, but it really heats up the house because we use the oven,
Right.
especially in the summertime, it really heats up. So Cuisinart gave us this phenomenal bread maker. And I'm just going to show it to you.
Oh,
here.
this is the cheater.
Yes, I was hiding it on you here.
Oh, wow.
And it's a compact bread maker. So it's very, very thin, which I love. The great thing about it is you can do anything for this small little tiny size.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
I don't know if anyone can see that, but look how tiny that is for the kitchen. It's actually really easy to do. There's different programs on it. There's white, French, whole wheat, ultra fast, sweet, gluten-free. You can do a lot of gluten-free in it. Artisan dough, regular dough. You can make jams in it.
Oh.
We haven't done any of that yet. Packaging mix. So if you had a pre-mix, cake and baking. So there's so many different things you can create in this. You can do a light type of bread and then a bigger one. So the one that you would have seen in social media, I made the dough in this and then I actually put it into a tray. I'm just going to grab it.
That's, these things, I mean, I've never used them. So,
I put it in one of these, and when Dario got home, he was thinking that I had. But actually, what I did is I did the dough in here, which many of you know takes a while to do, and I've been making slices of it, making different slices, and putting it in the freezer. So we've got bread in the freezer. I was afraid that it was going to cause us to make more bread, which sometimes I don't want to overdo things.
Sure. I'm breaking my. Look at that.
So it's got the paddle in it, and it's got the bread unit. Now, when you have it in the unit, it kind of makes a smaller bread. You can imagine it's this size. When I put it in the pan to put in the oven, which defeats some of the purpose. And also, you can take out the paddle just before it bakes, and it will beep at you. So it has so many great functions to it, so that you don't have this marking in the actual.
So that is the mixer, right? That is the part of the mix.
So I have done so many different kinds of bread so far, and I know that you've been thinking that I've been doing it from scratch, but I've been putting everything in here, layering it out, and it's been making the dough perfectly for us. And so it's great because you put it in the freezer, pre-sliced, take it out when we want it, and we've been enjoying some really neat breads. Now, when Dario makes it.
Well,
and when we did it with the sourdough and things that we did, it's just more exceptional. I don't know where he's gone, but
I'm going to look.
This unit has been phenomenal. And I think for the summertime, because it doesn't heat up the whole house, when you put the oven on, it heats up the whole house. I was going to put it in that one too, actually.
Anyway, and can I say one thing now that I know the new.
Surprise.
This guy. Oddly enough, the bread was very good. I mean, the greatest thing about this, and then obviously now I know.
Yeah.
You can control your crust color-wise, because sometimes I mean, I've never used a bread maker. I don't even know how to start. But it can be kind of doughy, kind of heavy. This wasn't. This was really not. It was really good. The aroma in the house was unbelievable. I mean, I walked into the house and it was like, oh my God, what are you doing? Oh, I just baked some bread. And it was fantastic. The loaf was, I mean, I think you posted a picture. It was perfect. Perfect bread. Delicious when you eat it. And what Anita does, she pre-slice it, put it in a Ziploc bag, because bread can easily go bad if you don't use it all the time. And we take it as it is. What I normally do, it's different, and I use the cast iron pot, the Dutch oven.
But you do everything by hand, like you.
Well, we do.
Yeah. The sourdough, and we've done that together as well too.
We got our sourdough sleeping over there.
Yeah. And sourdough starter. So it's been a great way to make it easier to make. Now, when you're in a rush and you want to have some bread handy, but it's also a lot of fun to make bread together. Right?
Well, I think it's great. I mean, obviously sometimes, you're trained in a way that you do everything from scratch. I mean, hence yesterday when we made the pizza with the kid.
Yeah.
I mean, we made our dough. We done a 24-hour fermentation on it, so we allowed the dough to ferment for 24 hours, which gives you a better digestion. And we had fun, and we made all our condiments. But making bread and being able, and I think you feel so good to do your own stuff.
It doesn't
at
have all the
home.
chemicals that everything else
That's
has,
right.
and it goes quickly. Like this one only makes a 2-pound loaf.
Which is fine.
But when you slice it, because otherwise you would be wanting to eat it for it not to go bad. But if you slice it and freeze it, it's perfect. And
That's right.
the gluten-free option's been great. I would like to, now that you know the truth of this
Right.
beast that I've been hiding from you, I think we need to make the pizza dough in here next time.
Wow.
And I want to compare the two to see.
I think it's definitely an option to try on it. I mean, it's incredible when you look at all the possibility of what you can do with it. My question that I'm going to ask you now, because now I know. So when did you make the dough here?
Yeah.
And then you transfer it to the muffin or to the oven. Was the dough proofed right into the machine?
Yeah,
and
everything was done.
So that's
what I'm saying. Like you went for 24 hours with the pizza dough. This would not do that.
Yeah.
How would that compare? It's like the lasagna that I made in the slow cooker. That kind of floored you too.
Yes, that's
If anyone hasn't seen that video, it was quite funny.
But that is actually a very smart way, and obviously you can play around, because obviously you allow the dough to be made over here. You allow to proof. The proofing part is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
And when you proof it, then you transfer. You preheat your oven, and then you put it in the oven. You bake it. So now you can control your crust. That's actually pretty good. I mean, I'm really curious to test.
Well, that's what I found, and the reason I ended up doing it in the pot was not necessarily just because that's what I planned on doing. I went to take the paddle out, and the unit shut. I pressed the stop start too long, and it stopped on me, and it was going to go back to doing the whole bread by itself again. So I took it out. I reshaped it. I actually lined the pan with butter and flour just to make sure it doesn't stick. And I put it in, molded it in there. And I actually, at the top, I kind of whizzed it up a little bit to make it look kind of
that looks really good.
Rustic.
And
it was really good. It was a delicious bread. And some of the other ones have been really good too. The one that we baked in the oven, I didn't like the flavoring as much. It needed a little bit more salt. And I think I went with the French bread with that. The white bread and the gluten bread so far has been really good. And for those that don't know, I try to go a little bit more gluten-free with things because of my autoimmune disorder. But and that's why with the bread, I was like, oh, what a great idea to put it in the freezer and take out those slices and toast them when you need them. And you've got fresh bread without all those chemicals. It's perfect.
Well, here's my thought. And always my problem is you want to make things from scratch. But efficiency, sometimes, time. We always say about time. Time, you don't have enough time to do all this stuff. You think about it. I mean, you can put this thing on, go away, do it, and then it shuts off, right? And it does everything pretty much that you want to do with that, so which is interesting.
Which leads into number 3, and that is relationships, actually. And so I'm assuming you agree with me. I think our 2 priorities for us are being there and spending time together. To us, that's huge, to make sure that we spend that quality time together and always appreciate each other, which is really,
not
really
take
important.
Each other for granted.
And not taking each other for granted.
Yeah.
And I'm going to put in a third one is to have good food. Like to us, that's really important to get together. And that's why we started the International Dinner Club, to get people together at the table, like why we enjoyed it so much yesterday with the kids. Like we're always wanting to do those kind of things. So it brings us to the next question, relationships and cooking together. So, this might take away from some of that time of kneading the dough or doing things. But for those times that you want to be able to do it, it's better than going to the store to buy a bread that has chemicals in it, unless you know of a bread that doesn't have chemicals that you enjoy. but you still have that time together. You utilize that in different ways.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You go for that walk, you do those things together. And cooking together is huge for us, you know. I've got my little station over there with my light, and Dario is usually here. And we dance in the kitchen, we play some music, and to us, cooking together. And it's one of those things that has been lost.
Yeah.
And I think it's really important.
It's funny, you know, I've been watching this thing on social media, and it's about ancient cooking, where, you know, husband and wife actually get involved into the old way of cooking, and they're really spending the time together to create this delicious meal. And the best thing is when everybody sit on the table, kids and love the simplicity of simple food. You know, yes, there was a classical example. You know, we have our kids here, and everybody kind of plays around and goofs around, but you know that then you know at the end of the day, you have a good meal.
Yeah, it's enjoying that time.
And part of the relationship is that, you know, really enjoying our time and really spending the time together to don't just, again, taking each other for granted. Because I always use the word, food is the conduit. Food is a conduit to everything. When you break bread together with anyone, things change, problems change, nothing matters anymore.
And that's part of the Mediterranean blueprint is having that time together, thinking intentionally, not getting home and plopping yourself in front of the TV right away.
That's right.
It's important to talk with each other, to plan these dinners that you're going to enjoy together and have fun, as opposed to calling the Uber Eats or doing those kind of things. You know, yes, going to restaurants, and as Dario calls it, the theater experience. It's great, but you know, these modern appliances that come in, yes, they're nice because they help bring some good food to your life, but going back to cooking together is really, really important. And then we talk about like appreciation, and I want to bring up Dario and how he always gives me I don't know if anyone's ever seen these little notes. So every day when Dario goes to work, I don't know how many pages of this. I put this all in a book. So for 10 years now, Dario has been putting these little nub notes on my coffee. So how do you say that? Amore mia, tu sei
sempre il mio sogno avverato. I'm going to translate it for you. My love, you will always be my dream come true.
And some of these you do at 3 a.m. I don't know how and like, that is so pretty.
So, and you know,
so sweet.
So the thing is very simple. And believe it or not, there is a process on that. Crazy process, because at 3 o'clock in the morning, you know, I leave the house sometimes 2-3 days a week around 3:30 to do my teaching down at the college. And so what I do, I get up in the morning, so the alarm goes, oops, sorry, switch. So my alarm goes up at 3:15. I jump in the shower, and as I'm in the shower, I think of what I'm going to be writing. And the process is very simple. I come down. The first thing I do, it's a pen and a little pads, and I write a note.
It probably activates your brain.
It does. It's exactly.
If you develop this habit, it activates your brain.
It's a habit for me. I never missed one.
No.
And actually, once when she went away, she went to a conference in.
A couple conferences. I was down in Florida. I was in California. And you always
I put. Yeah, she was there. She was there for a week. I put in the luggage, so I said, "Hey, make sure you check that thing." I think it's the knowledge of, you know, everybody can have agreement and disagreement. You know, that's part of a relationship. But you know, you got to come out stronger on that, because that's part of life. I mean, nothing is ever perfect, you know, but you always have a perfect person beside you. And you got to acknowledge that and understand the outcomes. So this is part of creating something special together, you know, with your partner in life, your partner in business. So, you know, we have everything together. We enjoy it. I mean, this is the thing, you know, we do enjoy it. And that's important. That to me is important to acknowledge it all the time.
Yeah. And to remember, right? And take that moment back and think, because when you get caught up in the everyday, you just do things by habit and you're forgetting. And what happens is you end up taking your partner by granted or for granted. And, as time goes on, the honeymoon stage wears off within the first few months.
That's
and then
right.
it gets into reality and situations. And you always are dealing with something. Like Dario said, arguments are normal and things have happened. And so spending that time together, it helps you become more resilient. It helps you learn how to do things together. When we cook, it's learning how to do those things, what someone does better than the other and how you work together. And so when you are in situations in it every day, you're able to deal with them better and you show that appreciation for the other person. And I think it's so important.
Can I give you an example? A simple example. So as you guys know, we told you about one of our last show before. We had a very busy week with CL down in Toronto and a couple of the master classes, Italy representing the European Union for olive oil and for fruit and vegetable from Europe. And, talk about dividing and conquer. You're doing this massive event in big, you're talking thousands and thousands of people. And, and you work with a company, then it's overseas. There is a lot of planning, isn't it? There is a lot.
And you overdo because your dishes were not like a pasta with a sauce. You had, 4 elements or 3 elements of flavor on top of that.
But the point was, the biggest point was, the first day we were doing the master class. So Anita thought, okay, I need to go check the expo if everything is set up the way it needs to be set up. So it is something.
And then get our passes in it.
And get when you work together and you work well together, or you read each other's minds, you go that because she actually saved the day because we would have started day number 1 with no display whatsoever. So this is how you work on your strength. And their strength and Anita has that I can even I just don't have them. And some of the strengths are very, very important. And understand it. Understanding you gotta step back. You gotta know them, she's good at it. And she's good at many, many things. And one of the things I'm good at it's cooking. And that's something we cherish together and appreciate and respect. That is the biggest thing. So yeah. So that's one of the things. We came out of that week tired. But it's all fun. It's all fun because we work together. I mean, it's the 2 of us. I mean, you're looking at it. We had some people working with us, helping us out. But at the end of the day, the decision making comes down to to what we said. We should gotta trust each other. That's the big thing.
Yeah. So anyway, that was today's episode. Easy bread making.
Yeah.
That I cheated on with Dario.
Now I feel bad.
If anyone has any questions, please add them in the comments and then we will be answering any of those. Also, any other tips? Like, do you have any ideas that you do at home to make sure that you keep that spark in your relationship? I'd love to know, love to hear. There's so many great ideas out there, and it's creating that and sharing those things to help others to be able to do that. In my business, I help couples as well come up with business ideas and to run their businesses. So that's
right.
something to think of as well. Add in the comments below. I love having you. We'll see you next week. We're going to talk about the pizza oven.
That's right.
Maybe by then we'll have used this to come up with the dough for the pizza oven, and we'll see how it works.
Yeah, we can test that.
I think it's a really good idea. But this thing has worked perfectly. It's small. I remember the bread maker I had before. It was massive.
This is great.
It took over the whole counter, and so it's a really neat unit that we have there. And so
I'm very curious to see about the jam part too. I mean, it is a jam factor.
Isn't that crazy?
Pasteurizing jams. I mean, this is the things. I mean, this is something that I would think outside about. But look at this, small little things, and it can fit everywhere. So
it slides in easily, right? So
this has been really
great.
Yeah,
it's so great.
Yeah.
So really, really happy with that. Put in the comments anything that you're wanting to hear about from us, anything you're wanting to know, what the relationships advice that you would have. What do you do?
That's right.
We'd love to hear. And come on over and subscribe.
Happy Mother's Day.
Aw, thanks, sweetheart.
Enjoy your wonderful time. Enjoy your mom. Enjoy the the woman, Denise, beside you, Denise, a mom, bake bread together. And baking bread together is always a good way of living. Ciao.
Ciao for now.
The Anita and Dario Show. The art of savoring, discovering how to fully indulge in the present moment, savoring every experience, every morsel, and every breath, unlocking the deeper appreciation for the beauty of life and the Mediterranean lifestyle.
Oh, live your life. Get inspired and cherish moments with food, travel, cooking the Mediterranean way.